Hello everybody, this is Johnny again. I'm just doing a follow-up video on the Crackle finish that I was working on. There was a big response and curiosity seekers out there that were interested in looking at this finish and what the end result was and what the process was. So here we go. What I did here is it would take me too long to do every step on video. So what I did is I took 5 doors and I have them laid out in various stages. So you can see how it was that I came up with the finish and what the end result is going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the first door that I left you guys with, and here we go. This is the door that, this is what I left you guys at. I just applied the Crackle, and once again what I did is I had the brown undercoat, and then I did the yellow Crackle up on top. Now in between every single coat, what I have to do is I have to seal the wood. If I was to glaze right directly on top of this yellow Crackle, it would absorb it kind of like chalk or like raw wood. It would just absorb it. So what I have to do, because I want to keep it transparent and translucent when I spread the glaze, is I have to seal it. And so what the sealer does, it protects the Crackle, and it doesn't allow the glaze or the stain to penetrate through the Crackle immediately. So the first barrier would be that sealer coat. And so what I did is I sealed it up and I applied a stain. Now this stain, I picked it up over at Sherwin-Williams. It's just a general wiping stain. And because I did seal the wood, I was able to manipulate it. And if you notice, I have a lot of light spots. I have some dark spots. It's just highlighted. And so that's kind of the base foundation color that I have to build up upon. So we go from step 1, which is completely different, to step 2, which is more of a reddish orangish type of stain. And then after that I had to seal that up, and I went to a different type of stain. Now this stain is a gel stain, and it's called dark walnut. And so dark walnut has a lot of green inside of it. However, it is a brown type of stain, and the green, what it does, it kills the orange. So it softens it up, it tones it down. And so now I'm left with a darker, browner, richer type of color. And so once again I have to seal that and sand it, and then I go to my final glazing process with the dark colors, and this is called a Van Dyke brown glaze. Now this is a true glaze, and this is something that you can't stain wood with. This is usually used at the end of the road to really accentuate some of the details in the wood and highlight and darken things up, and it brings all the undertones that I had built up into this finish. So there's a variation of color in here. You have some of the darks, you have some of the reds, you have some of the oranges, you have some of the undertones from the original Crackle. So this is a really, really nice finish. What I'm going to do next with this particular door, with this style, is I'm going to go ahead and seal it up, and then I'm going to add a green glaze. Believe it or not, it looks like it's like a green moss. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into the cracks of the doors, along the detail, as well as inside of the Crackle itself. And so what that's going to do, it's really going to make it aged and weathered. I don't have that process there, quite done. I have the rest of the unit that I still have to do. And once I get it to this point right here, then I'll go ahead and seal everything all together, and I'll sand everything back down, and I'll apply that green glaze. And that's really going to weather this project and make it look really rustic and old. And that's about it. I think that's going to be done for the glazing aspect of it. And then there's one last final process, to add some more detail to this project, and that's going to be fly specking. Fly specking basically is I take some paint or I take some stain at the end of a toothbrush, and I just kind of flick it onto the unit or the doors or whatever it is. And that just kind of gives it a little bit more shadowing. It gives it some more authenticity. It makes it look a little bit more weathered. And I think that will complete the staining and glazing and the fly specking and all the manipulation of colors. That'll complete that process. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and seal it back up. And what I'm sealing it with is a sanding sealer, but it's a catalyzed lacquer. So it's a very strong lacquer. It's appropriate for this unit. It's going to get a lot of use. It's acting as a hutch, and so there'll be a lot of dishes coming in and out of this particular unit. So we wanted to use something that's going to be very strong and durable. But what I'm going to do after that is I'm actually going to finish it off with carnauba wax. that's a car wax that's used for cars. And so with that, it's a pasty, milky looking, product. You guys all know what car wax is. And so what I do is I apply it on there fairly heavy, and I take off the excess at nighttime, or the following day. And I'm left with still a very strong, durable finish because of the catalyzed lacquer. And then I also have the appearance and look of a very old, weathered, piece of furniture that I use car wax with really to finish and polish it off. And that'll hold up for a fairly long time. So we got a beautiful finish. It's kind of a lot into this project. It looks nothing like the original process, and I knew it wouldn't. So there's a lot of people wondering, well, what's it going to look like? Well, there's some stages in this that you have to develop the colors. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the tutorial. There's really a lot to learn about this type of stuff. You really have to understand your chemicals. I can't teach it all in one time, in one shot, but there's a lot of trick finishes out there that really requires you to understand your chemicals and how they react and what you can and cannot get away with. So I hope this answers some of the questions, or people were curious about high-end finishing. If not, message me, and perhaps I can help you on your project and walk you through it. Or hey, have me go ahead and do it. This is one aspect of our company that we're going to be introducing in late January, early February, once I take everything off over here in San Diego. So this is just a prelude of things to come. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.